LeDavid Mizmor, L'Adonai ha'aretz umloa, tevel v'yoshveva, ki hu al yamim yesada, v'al nehorot yichoneneha. Mi ya'aleh bahar Adonai, umi yakum bimkom kadsho. Neki chapayim uvar levav, asher lo nasa lashav nafshi v'lo nishba lemirma. The earth is the Lord's, with all of its fullness. The world is the Lord's, with all of its inhabitants. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in the holy place? She who has clean hands and a pure heart. She will receive a blessing from the Lord and a just reward from the God of deliverance. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai mi yagur b'yahalecha, mi yishkon bahar kadshecha, holech tamim ufoel tzedek, v'dover emet bilvavo. Lo ragal al lishono, lo asa l'rehu ra'ah, v'cherpa lo nasa al krovo. Nivzeh beinav mimas, ve'et yirei Adonai yechabed, nishba lo hara v'lo yamir. Kaspo lo natan b'neshech, v'shochad al naki lo lakach, osa elah, lo yimot leolam. O Lord, who will dwell in your sanctuary? Who will live with you upon your holy mountain? She who lives with integrity, who does what is right, who speaks the truth in her heart, who does no evil to a fellow human being, who does not reproach her neighbor. Whoever does these things shall stand firm forever. Deborah and Jonathan and Judy and the family, as you know, Ruth had a way of seeing things. She saw beauty, and she certainly had a way of creating beauty around her. She loved beauty in the garden. She loved the beauty of flowers. She loved seeing the beauty of vegetables. She loved beauty in her home. She knew how to create a beautiful space in the home. Her home always felt and looked just right. She loved the beauty of the kitchen. She loved to cook. But there was a precision to it. There was a plan to it, a meticulous way to create something beautiful and to put it all together. She had an eye for things. Furnishings in the home, they might be secondhand. What am I kidding? They were always secondhand. But she knew instinctively, she knew what looked right together. And it gave her pleasure to put things together that looked right. But if it's true, and it is, that Ruth loved the beauty of these things, the outer beauty of things, her gift was that she saw beauty on the inside. She saw the beauty on the inside of people in her life. She saw the beauty within, and therefore she forged beautiful relationships because of it. She saw the beauty in her 3 kids. She saw your potential. She saw your talents, and so she believed in you. And she trusted in you because she had good eyes, but not only for the outside of things, but for the inside of things. She would give you guidance, but never overstepping, never in a way where she was directing you, forcing you. She would help you weigh options. She would give you context, but it was your decision. And you knew that she trusted you to make that decision because she saw in you that she could. And she was always and would always be there for you. Deborah, you said to me, all I know of how to love others, I know from being loved by my mom. Ruth was not judgmental. Yes, she had opinions. She would make her point, sometimes in her actions and sometimes in her humor. She could impart just the right message with a very dry but poignant wit. She showed all of you love, and she showed you respect, and she taught you a wonderful lesson by simply being a good listener. You talk to some people, they seem to be listening. They're really just getting ready to talk and to give you their opinion. Not Ruth. Ruth listened. She responded to you and your words and your feelings. She was teaching you kindness, just plain and simple kindness. She was strong, and she needed that strength in life. She needed it when her marriage ended and in forging ahead. And you certainly saw the strength in her during her illness. But she taught you the message that strength can be coupled with kindness, that determination can be coupled with softness, and always combined with love. She saw the beauty in people, and because of that, she had beautiful moments with you all. And she couldn't have had a greater closeness as a sibling than she had with you, Judy. You two were very different, but you still fit together like a glove, filling the spaces in each other. You shared your years together, growing up together. You were close to your parents. It was a home filled with the camaraderie that filled your days. When you were both raising children, the families would constantly be sharing life together, holidays. And you filled your lives with conversation, with anecdotes, with laughs. Again, not because you were identical, but because you still fit together in your distinctiveness. Sharing motherhood, sharing hobbies, sharing adventures together. You were, quote, the sisters, right? And to the end of her life, your rapport and banter continued. People who knew Ruth in the synagogue and in these other places, they knew that she was a class act. She was a reliable and a mature, giving, warm, fun person, someone deserving of respect. I know when she and your father ended their marriage, they remained friends. They remained in each other's lives. They depended at times on each other. Even in their separation, he knew how special she was and how deserving she was of his respect. Her relationships with her peers at NCJW were also special for Ruth. She gave of her time and effort at Thriftique. Her involvement gave additional meaning to her life at Belfair JCB and also, of course, at the synagogue. We were blessed at Park Synagogue that her relationship to her religious community was also very important to her. A sense of belonging and a sense of community, a thoughtfulness for topics we discussed on a Shabbat morning. This was a sharp lady, a street-smart person. It's interesting, I speak of her special relationships with the people she loved, but I really think when she purchased these items, I think it gave her meaning to take items that she thought looked right and connect them to the people she loved. She liked matchmaking her purchases with the people. I think that all added that this painting or this portrait would be in this corner at this person's home who I care about, who I love, and I want to make the space beautiful for them. She was proud of all of you. David was her eldest, and with David she appreciated and experienced the joy of the first. It was the time of her life when she had no other competing pursuits. It was her and David. Deborah, she was your best friend, your role model. Your mom has been so important to you as you have moved forward in stages in your life. Spending time together, becoming not just a mom, but like an older peer, an older friend. And you have been a wonderful caregiver, devoted and attentive and caring, and no task was out of your area of caring. And Jonathan, you've always treated your mother with responsiveness and with sensitivity and with helpfulness. Debbie said when she was married, when she met you, before she married you, she knew how important your mom was to you from day one because how sweet you were to her and how aware you were of her needs. And her relationships with her grandchildren, Lauren, not here today, but who came recently and had a very meaningful visit, Rebecca and Adam and Aaron and Hannah, memories of puzzles and sourdough toast and stickers and sleepovers and school recitals she attended, her cards, and her cooking, and really just telling you all how great she thought you were. A vibrant person, but a person who lived life on an even keel. She was able to live in the moment. She was able to focus on the here and the now. And she was open to all people. So as I conclude, I want to use appropriately a shopping metaphor. I think Ruth wanted to get her money's worth out of life. She wanted to get her money. That doesn't mean she wanted to take away from somebody else. She didn't want to swindle anybody. She wanted, though, she wanted a good deal out of life. So what did she get? She got a wonderful and a loving upbringing. She got the best sister relationship one could hope for. She had wonderful kids, a community who always cared about her. She did mitzvahs for people. She carried herself with love and with kindness. She had relationships that lasted because she was a quality person. And she never lost her graciousness. Even in illness, she was making good friends from her caregivers. She never lost her graciousness. I would say she got her money's worth. She lived with a good name, and she died with a good name.
Ruth and I have always been known as the sisters. She the introvert and I the opposite, but always attuned to each other in a very special way. My best friend, confidant, and big sister. I am in awe of her will to power on despite all her health obstacles until she was just tired. I'm going to do this. We've been through so many life experiences together, raising children, the joy of grandchildren, taking care of our parents, Alice and Lou, and losing my Roy. Traveling, going to house sales, volunteering, attending Indians game, where she would pack a gourmet dinner. No nachos for us. And decorating and redecorating our homes, attending Indians games, and helping dress each other and others too. She had impeccable taste, and I always sought her opinion on my many, many, many purchases. Cooking was her passion, and even when she could no longer eat, she enjoyed watching us eat her recipes. A week or so ago, I asked her who was going to make the brisket when she was gone. She weakly replied, "Not my problem." When looking through the many cards she sent, this one seemed to say it all. Once upon a time, there were two sisters. They went through lots of stuff together. Some of it was good, some of it wasn't. But through thick and thin, they stayed close, and they were sure they always would. And this made the world seem good. All my love, Ruth. P.S. I signed this card in ink, so you can't give it to me next year. But now I did. All my love, Judith Ann. Love you, P.S. Love you more. Okay. Yes, I do. Thank you.
David was not able to be here, but I have his words here, which I'm reading in his name. Thank you all for coming. We are gathered here to remember and honor Ruth Lee, my mom. I'm proud to be her oldest son, David. Mom was kind, she was honest, she was gentle. She saw beauty in the world. She was compassionate and empathetic. She had a great sense of humor. She was strong and delicate, wise and silly, easygoing and stubborn. A wonderful mix that seemed to know what to pull out of the hat at exactly the right time. I talked with her recently and asked her to tell me times when she was happiest. Not in any order, just whatever came to her mind. The first thing she said was the time she went to Mexico with her sister Judy and relaxed in the sun. She and Judy have that special bond that only loving sisters have. Second was ballroom dancing. She was graceful and beautiful. She worked hard at it and got to dress up with pretty dresses and makeup. Third was cooking. She loved everything about it. Finding the recipes, shopping for the best ingredients, prepping it all, cooking it to perfection, and watching you enjoy it. She continued all the family gatherings and celebrations, sitting in the sun on our patio in Boise, the good times spent with all you friends while you were all young and having families together, working at Thriftique, listening to tribe games on the radio with the TV muted, going to house sales and haggling for bargains with Judy and Alice. I could have listened to her for hours. She was a wonderful mother who nurtured, loved, and supported all three of her children in every way possible. I can't remember a time when she ever raised her voice to us, never said a hurtful word to us in anger or frustration. We weren't angels, but we listened to and obeyed her because we felt the love she had for us every day. We grew up confident, strong, and well-adjusted because she always gave us what we needed to believe we would be that type of person. She led by example and taught us subtly with gentle wisdom and advice. Never lectured, never ridiculed, never demeaning. She nourished us with delicious food, sang us sweet songs at bedtime, and taught us the joy of good books. She worked hard to give us a beautiful home that was safe and clean and warm and comfortable. She filled it with the love and joy that only a mom can, and kept it filled to this day. I will be forever grateful for the blessing of living my life in her arms. There is a hole in my heart that will never be filled. I will live the rest of my life doing all that I can to make her proud. I will love her with my whole heart forever. If there really is a heaven, it just got one fabulous angel. Love you, Mom. From David. Let's rise, everybody, for the memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Ashchina, B'malot Kedoshim, Utehorim, Kazara Masirim, Et Nishmat, Rachel Bat Laban. Shahal Chalo Lama, Began Eden Tehe Menuchata, Anabal Harachamim Hastireha, Beseter Kanafecha Leolamim, Utzror Bitzrechem et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'tanuach B'Shalom Mishkava, V'nomar Amen. May we remember all of the worthy and the righteous deeds that she performed in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. God is now her portion. May she rest in peace. And we all say Amen. Let's be seated. We want to offer our condolences to the family, David and Abby, Deborah, Jonathan and Debbie, Judy, grandchildren Adam, Hannah and Rebecca, Aaron and Lauren, and the beloved nieces, Karen and Sarah and Rachel. We want to pause in the service at this moment to allow time to move to the processional, which will be at the cemetery, the Park Synagogue section of the cemetery, and that will immediately following these moments. When I'm finished, please remain in your seats. The pallbearers will be able to come forward. We do want to announce that family will be receiving friends for the Shiva visitation following services today and until 9 p.m. tonight. That's today and tonight until 9 p.m. Continuing tomorrow, Friday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. The address, the Kirsch residence in the Village, 7 Salem Court in the Village. That's today and tomorrow. Pallbearers can now come forward. Harok lefanai shochan neged sorai, Yishanta v'shem en roshi kushi kusi vir vayam, Ach tov v'chesi vir defuni, Kol yimei chayai, V'shamti b'vei Adonai